You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. LSU hits the practice field on Thursday for spring. And you're going to see a lot of spring storyline pieces coming out this week leading up to the start of spring football. And I was doing an interview with Ryan Fowler in Tuscaloosa on the game in Tuscaloosa before AFR started today. And he asked me, we're talking about the LSU-Alabama schedule thing, but he asked me, what are the biggest storylines for spring for LSU? And I said there's two. There's two primarily for me. There's a lot of things to keep an eye on, but two primarily that I'm looking for. Number one is quarterback. And that may sound odd because you have an incumbent. Jayden Daniels started every game last year, and he's back for a fifth season, and that just seems very obvious that Jayden Daniels is your starter, and Brian Kelly has said Jayden Daniels is the starting quarterback, and there is no quarterback controversy. But actions speak louder than words. And we saw Garrett Nussmeier play the second half of the SEC championship game against Georgia, and then in the bowl game, it was predetermined that he was going to get every third series. Jayden for 2, Garrett for 1. Jayden for 2, Garrett for 1. They did that through the second half till the game was far out of hand, and they decided to go Garrett then Walker. So I get Brian Kelly saying there's no quarterback controversy. But if you're splitting first-team reps with Jayden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier, you have a quarterback controversy. If Jayden Daniels was undoubtedly locked in your number one guy, no questions asked, you're not splitting first-team reps. You think Joe Burrow was splitting first-team reps in 2019? You think Bryce Young was splitting first-team reps last year at Bama? You know who your guy is. So I am interested in that. I don't know if we'll be able to see it. I don't know how much they'll let us see when we go out to practice, but I will be interested to know how they divvy up those quarterback reps, because if it gets to a point in spring where Jayden Daniels is taking all of the first-team reps and Garrett Nussmeier is just simply relegated to your backup, does Garrett look around after spring? I'm not saying he will. It's just tough to try to appease multiple guys. So that's one. And the answer may just be Jayden's your starter, no controversy. But that's worth watching. If you're looking at storylines, what's worth watching? That's worth watching. That's number one. Two is cornerback. And I think that's the very obvious next one. You lost all of your cornerbacks. They're all gone, either to the draft or to transfer. I mean, the only returning scholarship cornerback from a year ago is LaTerrence Welch, who I have high hopes for LaTerrence Welch, but he hasn't played much. So cornerback is massive. You're losing everybody, but I would say you are objectively more talented at cornerback this year than you were last year. You add a guy like Denver Harris, who is a 5-star, Deuce Chestnut, who was all ACC at Syracuse. You add J.K. Johnson, who was a starter at Ohio State. You had Zy Alexander, who was an FCS All-American at Southeastern. You had 4 guys that are objectively more talented than your top 4 a year ago. Potential higher ceiling, higher draft picks, all that sort of stuff. You're better there. The question is, who wins the jobs? That's, for me, the other really big storyline. Defensive line rotation there is going to be big. Let's see what they end up doing with Harold Perkins. Does he move inside? There's a lot of other things worth watching. The new shuffle on the staff with special teams coordinator, with John Jansen coming on the field. There's a lot of things there that are worth watching throughout spring and then ultimately into fall camp, clearly. But for me, how do those quarterback reps divvy up? And who ends up winning those starting cornerback jobs, I think, are going to be the two biggest that I'm keeping an eye on this spring. LSU spring football starts on Thursday. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.